Hello people, here we go again with another winter snowflake set. This one I'm doing, there's a lot of hollow in this one. It doesn't read real well on camera, but it's there. They do look pretty cool in person. Anyway, we're going in. I'm using some short oval nails for these. I just wanted something that was going to be quick and fairly easy. It's kind of crazy this week and I'm trying to get a lot done. We're just going to be going in with black. And I'm only going to be doing one coat of this because some of these are going to be foiled and the others are going to be chromed. So yes, we're using messy old chrome powder one more time. I want to get a nice thin coat on these. We do not want any wrinkling with this black. And almost there. And these we're going to be going in for a cure. Okay, now we're going to be going on with the foil glue. I'm using the Makartt foil glue, gel glue. You want to get a good coat of this on here, but not too thick because it will wrinkle on you and then you can't foil over it. But make sure you get it all the way to the edges really well because then you won't you'll have a lot of problems getting your foil to stick at the edge. Okay, once I get this on here, I'm going to hold this upside down for a little bit to let it run towards the center of the nail more. And this is the foil I'm going to be using, one of them. While that's curing, I'm going to just cut this up a little bit, get it ready to go. Now this particular foil gave me a lot of trouble. You'll notice when you can see the back of it that it doesn't have a metallic back, it's just the plain transfer stuff. Now this other one, which I'm also going to use, this one did have the metallic on the back. And this one transferred very good, very nicely. It worked great. The other one, not so much. So when you're using any that have that metallic stuff on the back like that, you want to give them a wipe with some alcohol and a lint-free wipe. I'm not really sure why you're supposed to do that, other than I'm assuming there's some kind of a film on there that you're trying to clean off. I don't know. I just know you're supposed to do that on the metallic ones. Okay, I'm going to start with the thumbnail as soon as that dries. Okay, I've cured my glue for 90 seconds and then I let it sit for maybe another minute to cool off a little. It seems to work a little better for me that way. But we're going to go ahead and get the foil on there. Press it down. Try to press it down smoothly. And I believe I'm looking for my silicone tool. Or not. You would think by now I would get all my stuff out ahead of time. I have a kind of a small space to work in on my desk there, so I try not to clutter it up too much when I'm working. But I'm just going to give it a really good press all the way out to the edges, and then you'll be able to see there at the kind of that top part, it's already starting to lift away from the film. So we know it is cleanly stuck down on that part. That's what we like to see, a nice clear part coming off of there, so I know it's all on there. I'm just going to go around this whole thing. I will use the silicone tool to smooth it out a lot of time. If I'm having any that's giving me any kind of a problem, I will use the edge of my thumbnail to, to rub it on with, have it a little harder surface to make sure it can get it off of the transfer paper. And I'm going to gently lift it up. I'm not going to yank it off like a Band-Aid. I know I say that every time, but people are still doing it that way, and it drives me crazy. If you just lift it up a little bit, and then you'll see if there's anything that hasn't transferred, just lay it back down immediately, and then you'll give it some more rubbing until it transfers over. If you yank it off of there and you don't have a full transfer, then you have to put it back on and try so carefully to line everything up perfectly so it's going to be in the right spot. Now, whoopsie, see, the middle of that didn't fully transfer, so here's where I'm going to use my thumb nail and just give that a good rubbing in the middle. And voila. Now see how nicely that one worked? The other one, not so much. Okay, and that is done. I'm going to be moving on to show you one more. I'm going to do one with the other foil, and you'll see all the problems I had with it. And then the rest of them I'll deal with off camera. This is the middle finger. And I'm going to use that first one that does not have the silver backing on it. Now, I believe that these foils came from AliExpress. Now, with foils, it's kind of a hit or miss situation. If you get good foils, they work beautifully, no problems. But some of the really cheap ones don't always work so great. You have to require a lot more massaging and fooling around with them to get them to cooperate. As you'll see with this one, I had a lot of trouble getting this one to stick. And the other ones where I used these too. I'm just trying to give it a good press on there, and then I will start with the rubbing. This one didn't want to release very well from the backing paper, the transfer paper. As you'll notice, you're not seeing any clear parts on the transfer paper where it's released from there, like the other one did. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and buy a bunch of really expensive foils. You really don't. It's just, it seems to be kind of a crapshoot as to what kind you're going to get when you order them. I've gotten some really cheap ones that have worked perfectly fine, and then then some not so much, like this one. Now, this is also a reason why I painted those nails black, because I was not concerned about the black backing on this one transferring so much. I just wanted to make sure I got the snowflakes to transfer. As you paint your nails that black like that, then if the backing of the black doesn't fully transfer, it's no big deal because you've already got black on there. And once you clear coat it with the top coat, you won't notice it. You won't see it at all. But the snowflakes definitely needed to be there. Now, let it see, not on there so good. So back to the drawing board with the rubbing. This one took a lot more TLC. We're starting to get a little bit around the edges where it's looking like we're getting some clear. But still, see, I can just stick that right back down and continue on, trying to get to transfer the rest of it off of there. And what I'm trying to do too is I hang on to one side of the nail so I can firmly rub it with my nail to try to get it to go, also without causing it to flip off the nail stand to come off of there. Plus, this is a shorty, so these little small ones, these little tiny ones, are so much harder for me to work with. They're just harder to manipulate and get a grip on them when you're trying to do stuff like this because they're tiny to begin with. And you can see around the edges there's starting to be some clear areas, but not a lot. that part. That one in the middle there just did not want to transfer. That one right there, that the arm of that one that I'm rubbing on right now, just did not want to come off of that paper. I think this is the one that has the one arm is partially missing because I just could not get it off of there, no matter what I did to it. And there's a little bit more on that one we need to get. This middle one is the one that was giving me a lot of the problem here. See, I can see as I'm going where there's still stuff on there. Well, that was the best I could get off of that foil. See, the one guy is missing part of the arm on that one. Anyway, I've done the rest off camera. Now I'm going in on the other ones that don't have the foil, and I'm just using a normal no wipe top coat. These two are going to be chromed, and so we need this top coat to be nice and perfectly smooth without any little bits and bobs of anything in there. No hairs, no fluff, nothing. Okay, I'm going to cure those like normal. And then here we go with the messy chrome powder again. Now this time, I've taken the glove off the hand I'm going to use to rub it in, but I'm keeping the one on the other hand because the last set I did, I had so much chrome on my nails, I could not get all of it off. I still have some on there. Okay, this is a Holo Chrome powder here. So we're just going to dot it on there and then give it a good rub in. This one doesn't read so well on camera, but it really does have the holo. This isn't showing up very well. But there we go, easy peasy. And I'll just do the other one real quick. And just give it a little rub. And there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to just gently brush off any loose chrome powder that's still going to be on there. And then we're ready to go on with our top coat. Now this one is the tempered top coat, which is the thicker, harder one. I'm going to give these guys a good coat with this. And the last one, which now you can't see. And those are going to, well, okay, what am I doing here? Oh, yeah, of course, there was the hair. Okay, now we're going to cure those like normal. And the last step, I decided that the chrome ones were too plain again. And so I had to zhuzh them up a little bit. I'm going in with some black snowflakes, and these are just the simple drag snowflakes. So we're going to put a dot in the middle, and then we're going to do 4 dots around at the 4 compass points. Now this was the second one I did. I tried to do something a little bit fancier with it, and it just didn't come out the way I was picturing, so I had to wipe it off. So this is now the second one. Okay, and we're going in with the detailer brush, and we're just going to simply drag it from the middle through the outer dot. And we're going in, oh, that one doesn't have a very good line on there, okay? Then we're going to do that on all of them. And then I'm going in with a dotting tool that is slightly smaller than the one I just used for that. I believe I'm fishing around in my drawer. That's why the whole thing's shaking. Okay, we're going to go and make some smaller dots in between all of those. And then once again, I'm going to drag from the middle through those other new ones now. Now, as I was doing this, I was reminded of the way this one looks. It kind of looks like a retro 50s clock that I've seen about. Okay, and there we are with that. We're going to cure that when I'm happy with it. So I think we're good. And then I couldn't leave it alone there. I had to add just a little bit more sparkle. So I'm going to use my top coat. I'm going to take some of that, put it on my palette. And then I'm going to get a dotting tool that's even smaller than the one I just used. It's going to be a little teeny tiny one. And what I'm going to do is get just a dot of that top coat in a second here. Okay, see, just a little teeny tiny one. And we're going to put a dot of the top coat in the center and on each of those dots all the way around. Just a little teeny tiny dot, that's all we want. Don't want much. You don't want to cover that whole other dot either. You just want a little dot in the center with the top coat. And then we are going to use, this is a fine hollow glitter now, which doesn't also read on camera very well, but it is. And we are just going to put that on top of those little dots that I just made. Now I started to be going to pour it on there, but I was having trouble manipulating that little tiny pot with my gloves on. And as you can see, I've already spilled it now. So what I ended up doing was getting my cuticle pusher out and just using that as a little scooper to scoop the glitter up onto that in an effort to not make a bigger mess than what I already had going there. And we're just going to put that on like so. Now it's only going to stick to where the top coat was. So I know it looks like it's all over the place now, but it will come off. And we're going to cure this for 2 minutes as we're giving it a double cure.
Go.
And then I didn't show it, but we're going to brush it off, and then you're going to be left with those little sparklies on the snowflakes. If you like this set, please go ahead and give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. And go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.